Sing, people.
Well, I once was lost in sin,
that's what I'm talking about.
but Jesus took me in, and then the life from heaven filled my soul. Well, be my in love, roll my name above. Now just to talk with Jesus makes me whole.
Come on, Sister Dirk.
Yeah.
Have you been a good Christian today? I see it in your face. I know what you did. God does not approve. He does not approve of you yiffing all day. 'Cause, God does not like that yiff. Hello everybody. How are you all doing today? I am doing another one of these. Last time it was a joke. Because of this is a joke. It makes more sense if you know who this person is, or if the person is watching this, yeah. So last time, if you haven't watched it, I probably don't want you to. I made a video called Furry YouTube, and it was on this person called Yoacat, which was a person who did a bunch of really stupid shit to everybody. First off, he had really bad content, but he treated it like it was one of the most amazing things out there. And then whenever somebody else had an issue or problem, he would make it all about himself. And whenever somebody gave him criticism, he would avoid it so much that he would do things illegal, such as getting my address and posting it everywhere. Which obviously I don't care. Last episode I said my address in an actual statement. I don't care if you get my address. I care if you're doing something illegal. The difference between this person and Yoacat is this person I do not know, first off. I don't know if he's a bad person. He doesn't seem like a bad person. He seems like an alright guy. He makes good content, but the message that it's getting across, I have an issue with. So this might be a little bit of a shorter one. I've watched podcasts with this person. I don't know him on a personal level, so I can't really criticize him on that certain retrospective, but I can criticize him on other things that I think that he may be doing wrong. I don't know what else hasn't been said, but I just want to get in my fair share. Okay, let's go into the first topic. Sorry for my shitty webcam. That'll only be on for a moment, but Just to clarify, like I said, this is very different from the other person. Really, this guy, he doesn't really have any content that's necessarily bad. The only thing that I have wrong with it is the message, which hence why this video will be a lot more short. Now, if I was, say, a couple of years younger or whatever, I would be going at this very non-respectively, so trust me, I'm trying to be as respectful as I can with somebody who thinks this way. So let's just get into it.
I'm on the verge of being a pornography addict because of how much of the fandom shoves porn into our faces, and because my self-efficacy has shifted for the worse.
So there's a part where he says that he has become a porn addict because the fandom keeps pushing porn into his face, and that is a part of the reason why he's become a porn addict. I really don't know. I don't know him at all, so I really can't judge, but I'm pretty sure that is not an excuse. So think about something else, or like something that can be used as an analogy of something that is widely distributed in modern media. Say things like politics or news. Say if you are somebody who does not like politics or news, or gets freaked out by it, whatever reason you have why you don't want to look at it, it's as easy as you don't look at it. If you don't follow news sources, you don't follow politics, if you see something like that, then you ignore it. I know that people have sexual urges, but if you really think that it's that much of an issue, then you can totally dismiss it from you. It shouldn't be the fandom's fault for your own issue. When you boil it down, it's really your choice to go and jerk off to porn. Just like in the other analogy, if you went onto a news source that'd make you very paranoid and messed up for the next week, that would be your choice to do that. That would not be the news's fault for making you be very paranoid. That'd be your fault if you watch the news, not the news's fault, because the news doesn't know where it's going out to. The purpose of news is not to make people paranoid. The purpose of porn is not to make people porn addicts. So really, the issue is not the porn or the fandom shoving the porn in your face. It's you, who, as a consumer, keeps consuming it. That's like saying, it's McDonald's fault that I got diabetes because I ate 10,000 burgers.
I thought it'd just be one of those evangelical demagoguing websites, but it turned out to be a non-religious, non-government funded source of deeply researched articles with objective empirical evidence. It hit me that porn is a real psychological struggle that most people just can't quit cold turkey because of the dependence they have on it.
He says that porn is a psychological struggle that people can't quit cold turkey for. I don't know the analogy, I don't know the saying, trust me, I don't know. But I think what he's trying to get at is that it's a psychological struggle because people have urges for it and it keeps making them so delusional of what love actually is. Which, first off, I can get into that later. I'm just saying this in his own words. I don't actually believe it. So let's just take a look at his actual sources to begin with. So I want to see. Okay, so here he lists all the sources. The thing that I'm starting to see on all these sources, I know that there's not anything that's not biased. I'm biased. Everybody is biased. But, I mean, I kind of see a little bit of hesitation when it says Apple employees fired for stealing nude pics from customers' phones next post. It's just singular issues that you can have. If you have these issues, then you can fix them yourself. But that doesn't mean that everybody is first off going to be affected by these, and I know that's not what they're trying to say, but I'm just saying that. And second off, porn shouldn't be completely eradicated or deemed as something that is wrong by all means of society just because it has some potential cause of an issue. That really, it all relies on the person's brain instead of the porn itself. It really matters how the person interprets the porn and how they use it to be harmful towards other people or makes them have a dissolution with actual sex and porn. It all matters on the person. All of these things can be either battered down as something that is biased or something that can only rely on the person instead of the actual porn itself. Also, side note, why I'm doing this video and not the other video before is because he stated that his thoughts have changed since he's made that video, so I'm not gonna go judge him on other earlier previous thoughts that he had.
1. Yif is common in the fandom. If it's common in the fandom, then it's acceptable and not deserving of shame. Therefore, Yif is acceptable and not deserving of shame.
I don't think that anybody thinks that it's good or positive because so many people like it. I think that they just think that it's good and positive because they think that it's good and positive. Pretty sure that porn, to begin with, it's just something to feed an urge that you may have. I think it's just another thing that exists, and people like it, some people don't, some people think it's right, some people don't. Really, what it all boils down to, every single point that you have listed here.
2. Satisfaction of Yif is the common sentiment of furries. Many, if not most furries, believe that porn does not harm them. Therefore, satisfaction is the source of the sentiment that porn does not harm them. 3. Violent fetishes do not encourage viewers to commit the acts in the porn/video.
Everything that you have said here, saying porn easily becomes habitable, porn changes your brain for the worse, your sexual taste changes for the worst, drastically affects your personal life with your family, makes you become violent. It does not matter if porn exists or it doesn't exist. What is to blame is the person itself. If somebody watches porn and goes out and rapes somebody, it is not the porn's fault. It is the person's fault for thinking that it is acceptable and okay to go out and rape somebody. And if somebody goes and watches porn and doesn't do anything, then that is a prime example about how porn doesn't really influence anybody. Sure, it may be something that can make people think about doing something, but there's a big difference, and there's many steps between watching porn and raping somebody. If somebody gets more distant from their family because they watch so much porn, or they're uncomfortable around their family, then that is because of them. That is an issue with them. If you become a porn addict, then that is an issue with you. Not every person who watches porn will become a porn addict. Not every person who watches porn will get more farther away from their family. And not every single person who watches porn will go out and commit rape. There's many different circumstances where this has been an issue of something can make somebody go out and do something horrible. Let's say back in Columbine when Marilyn Manson was blamed for the people going and shooting up the school just because they listened to their music and they wore their shirts. Like I said with the other thing, there was many steps in between listening to Marilyn Manson and going and shooting up a school.
Some will be so brash to ask if we believe that all who hear Manson tomorrow night will go out and commit violent acts. The answer is no. But does everybody who watches a Lexus ad go and buy a Lexus? No, but a few do.
I definitely can see why they would pick me. because I think it's easy to throw my face on a TV because I'm, in the end, sort of a poster boy for fear. Because I represent what everyone's afraid of. Because I do and say what I want.
Just because somebody listens to Marilyn Manson does not mean that they're going to go shoot up a school. Usually when that happens, there is more than just Marilyn Manson in their head. Just because somebody watches porn and then rapes somebody, there is more than just porn in their head that makes somebody rape somebody else. Usually a mental illness, usually something that's very fucked up, like maybe they were raped when they were a kid, maybe somebody was abused when they were a child, that's when they shoot up the school. There is always something more to the equation. And saying that you may have the traits to go out and do something violent or stray away from your family is a potentially dangerous thing to say to normal functioning people, because it can give them the wrong impression that they are not normal and functioning people. Hence, they may think that they are not normal and functioning members of society just because they watch porn. Which obviously, according to me, I don't think that there's anything wrong with porn. Except if it's something that's very fucked up, like children or... And another prime example is video games make people go out and kill other people or do violence or whatever, blah blah blah. And the same exact excuse can be used for this. The video game is not what causes somebody to go out and shoot somebody. Just because somebody plays GTA 5 doesn't mean that they're going to go outside and run somebody over with their car. It matters more about who the person is and what certain traits they adopt and what certain things that they choose to do. Nobody chooses to rape somebody just because they watch porn. Nobody chooses to stray away from their family just because they watch porn. Nobody chooses to go shoot up a school just because they listen to Marilyn Manson. And nobody goes and runs somebody over with their car just because they played GTA 5. It's a classic example of people trying to make other people unaware of the actual issue. Because when people go and run other people over with their cars, there is an issue with the people and maybe how society is treating others. When somebody goes and shoots up a school, maybe there's another influence on them. Maybe they have some type of mental disorder. Maybe that's the issue and not the actual easy route that you try to go to. When somebody goes and rapes somebody, or whenever somebody strays away from their family, maybe the porn isn't the issue. That's the easiest thing to blame it on. The non-easy thing to say is maybe there's something with the family that's wrong, or maybe there's something wrong with the person who chooses to go rape somebody else. Maybe they were molested as a kid. There's something more to this story, and you saying that porn is the issue is something that is ignorant of how people actually function in normal society. Now let me be honest, I wish I could defend the other things that he said in his video, like saying things like neural pathways and brains but to be honest, I don't know squat shit about brains. So I really can't defend that in any premise without me probably being very wrong. I only wanted to say the other things because that's the thing that most affected me and made me angry, because it's something that you can just apply common sense to. Now let me just say this. This is something that I'm going to just end the video off with, I guess, a main final point. To whatever other videos that anybody makes, no matter who you are, if you are biased, then okay. If you state an opinion, then okay. If you have an opinion towards something that is biased, okay. But here's the thing. There is a difference between an opinion and a fact. And whenever you treat an opinion like a fact, then that is disrespecting the actual studies that have gone into that subject, anything that has been worked hard on in that subject, really anything. You shouldn't be treating your opinions as facts, because it can first off misinform people, it can make people feel ashamed in this certain sense, and he said that he didn't want other people to feel ashamed, but saying something like porn kills love, it can also just create a dysfunctional mind and dysfunctional people. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has once treated an opinion like a fact, but it kind of bothers me when somebody makes a video like this, where they list off a bunch of things that can probably be debunked with critical thinking, where they list off a bunch of things and then treat it like it's something that is actual factual, and they put proof and research that somewhat links up to it, and to be honest, the proof is probably biased and opinionated to begin with. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. I'm an atheist. That's an opinion towards me. He's a Christian. That's an opinion towards him. I never watched all of his videos, but I'm pretty sure that he doesn't treat Christianity like a fact. I don't treat atheism like a fact. The thing is, most people don't really know. People don't like the idea of not knowing about certain things. Like people not knowing if porn is the cause of rape or child molestation. People are afraid of not knowing. So we try to get the closest thing that we can of something that can prove something so that we know it, and then we treat it like a fact immediately because it's the only piece of evidence that we have for something that is somewhat gratifiable. And that's potentially dangerous for everybody. Just to end this video off with, I don't hate this guy. The difference between Yoacat and this person is he's done nothing wrong towards me. He seems like a cool guy. He seems like somebody who knows certain things. I mean, if I knew him, he probably hates my guts from just watching this video. But if I knew him, I would 100% be totally okay with being friends with him. As long as he doesn't, like, say that I'm wrong for liking porn, then that's totally fine. And it doesn't seem like he's doing that. He's not really saying that anybody is wrong. He's just saying that porn is wrong. And he's treating the opinionated things that say that it's wrong like facts. And I'm sorry, I can't pronounce facts. I can't because my lisp. And I don't really like that. So that's why I made the video on it. And I just got this because I found it funny. Because, you know, Christian, you get it, right? Being a Christian is funny. I don't know. So, yeah, basically, yeah, porn and violence say this is porn, this is violence. But there's always something in between somebody watching porn and raping somebody. There's always something in between that causes somebody to do something else. Just because you watch porn doesn't mean that you'll go out and rape somebody. Just because you listen to Marilyn Manson doesn't mean that you'll kill other people. Just because you play GTA doesn't mean that you'll go run over... Just because you play GTA doesn't mean you'll go run over somebody with their car. So yeah. Anyways, guys. This is the Old Testament. So I'm just going to read this line from the Old Testament. Months old brought hither in her mother's arms, and made to put the bell rope in his tiny hand. Oh wait, this is a Japanese history book. Fuck you. UPS is dropping off my Kurt Cobain wig. Man, Courtney Love is such a bitch. Courtney Love is a bitch. She murdered me. Hey, yo, what's up? What's poppin', Bean? What's poppin', Francis Bean Cobain?